it is time for my seasonal TBR, and this time we are going to do my favorite season of all, and that is autumn. I love autumn. I'm an autumn girl through and through. I was born in autumn and I love autumn so much. As you can see, I already put on some autumn decorations even though it's still August. And I even have like this new fluffy ghost pillow. Like, look how cute. If you know a name for this little guy, then let me know in the comment section below, because this one is still nameless and I really love this one so much. But anyhow, I can't wait to show you all the books I'm planning on reading in autumn. Like, I'm really excited for all of these books. Some of them I have on my bookshelves for quite some time now, but I just think that autumn is the right time to read them, so I've been saving them for the right season. Like this stack of books that we're going to go through, and yeah, I am so excited for all of them, as I said before. And okay, I can't really contain my excitement, I'm sorry for that. I know that the angle of the camera is a little bit different than normally, but Sissy is currently sleeping right next to me, as you can see, and I didn't have it in my heart to kind of like remove her, so we are moving around a little, but that's okay. I'm currently drinking a nice cup of water, so don't let the mug fool you, but I just felt very autumnal, so I needed my autumnal mug. So I would suggest grab yourself a nice beverage, make yourself cozy and comfortable, and let's dive into my stack of my autumn TBR. And the first book that I'm planning on sharing with you guys is the poem collection of John Keats. I'm currently reading poems each day. I started doing this in the summer, and my collection is going to end by the end of August. Like, it is actually a collection of poetry for each day, and it even has like the dates of summer. So by the end of August I'm done reading it, but I still want to continue my journey of reading poems each day. So I'm going to dive into the John Keats collection. I've never read anything by John Keats, and I am really curious, and I still had this one on my shelf. And the reason why I decided to choose it for autumn is because of the cover. Like, the cover screams autumn to me. So that's one of the reasons why I'm going to pick this one up. It's definitely a lot thicker than the other one, so I might even end up reading more than one poem a day, but I'm not really mad about that. I really end up enjoying reading poems a day or two. So. And then I actually have two non-fiction books. I do not read a lot of non-fiction. Well, hardly ever actually. I do read some a little bit, but never really a book from the front to the back. But I actually have two non-fiction books on my TBR for this month, and they're actually witchy books. The first one is Cat Magic, and the reason why I bought this book was because of the cover. The cover really drew me in. It looks a lot like the cat we used to have, and I'm missing her, and because this one looks so much like her, I was curious. I picked it up, I read the back of the book, and it sounds just really intriguing. It is about how cats can enhance your magic and how they can stimulate and help you with your tarot reading, or even doing some rituals or spells. I do dip my toes in a little bit of magic here and there. Not a lot actually, but from time to time I like to do something, or even tarot reading. I do that actually a lot more than really rituals or anything. But I don't know, I like the idea that cats have a certain magic and that they can help you with magic as well. I like that idea, so that was one of the reasons why I decided to pick this one up. And I think it's perfect for autumn because it's about magic. It's a season of witches, so what better time than to start reading witchy books. And another witchy book is actually The House Witch, and I think I talked about this last year around autumn as well. So if you have been on my channel since then, you might even recognize it. I did start reading it last year, as you can see, but I didn't finish it. But this book is about a complete guide to creating a magical space with rituals and spells for hearth and home. And I don't know, it just sounds really interesting. I kind of like some of the ideas that this book has. Some of the spells were intriguing, and I still plan on trying some out, but I still haven't finished the book. So I'm first going to finish it, and maybe I will try some out this season as well. I actually have a lot of cozy books on my stack this season, and one of them is actually The Baby Dragon Cafe. This is a book about a cafe owner, and she has a cafe where people are allowed to bring their pet dragons. Of course, when people bring pet dragons into a cafe, sometimes things get ruined and set on fire, and she helps people out in training their pet dragons and making sure you have a little bit more of a control of them so that they behave. And there is this man who actually owns this pet dragon who doesn't behave at all, and she starts to help him out, and there starts to blossom some kind of romance. And that's all I know about the book. Actually quite a lot, because quite often I don't know anything about the books that I'm planning on reading. But it just sounded really fun, and I like dragons, and I like the idea of a little cafe, small town setting. So yeah, I think I'm really going to enjoy this one, or at least I hope so. And I'm planning on picking this up very soon as well. Then we have The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I've read the Queens of Rentia series by her, and it's like one of my all-time favorite series. But after that I've never read anything by Sarah Beth Durst. And I'm kind of like dying to go back into a world that she has created. And I know the sequel came out to this book recently, and I think that that cover is even more stunning than this one. Yeah, the cover screams forest, fairy tales, magic, and yeah, I can't wait to dive into this one. I know it's about some old spell books, and I don't know a lot about this one. There's magic involved, there are probably witches, I don't know. All I know, there's like a cat with wings on the cover. Like here you have the little cat with wings. Like come on, I really hope it has like a big role in this book. But yeah, I am dying to read this one, and this is probably one of the books that I am most excited for this season to actually read. And then another cozy romance story, and it's actually A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sango Madana. You probably know how much people who love the very secret society of regular witches have been dying to get this book in their hands. Like this book has been postponed so many times. I think for the last 2 or 3 years this book has been given a release date, and then it was postponed again. And yeah, I am so happy that I actually have it in my hands, and I can't wait to read this. I know that it's about a witch, there's romance in here, like someone who owns an inn, and I like the idea of everything about this story, and I love the first book, and I can't wait to read this one. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm going to love this just as much as I loved The Very Secret Society of Regular Witches. And then we also have Uncharmed by Lucy Jane Wood. This is another cozy romance story, and I know it is about the witch. It has a romance in here again. There's a cat featured on the cover, so it probably has a cat companion again. And I loved Reread by the same author last year. I read that book. It is probably one of my... It is definitely in the list of favorite books of all time. And Uncharmed, I do not know anything about the fact that it has a witch, a romance and a cat. And I have high hopes for this one because I loved Reread so much. I really enjoyed the writing style, and this is going to be the second book by the author. And yeah, I just can't wait to read this one. Well, I keep saying that about all the books, but this really is true. And especially the Spell Shop, A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, and even this one, Uncharmed. These are the ones I've been looking forward so much for the last couple of months. So I do not own it yet. As you can see, it is still it still needs to be released. It's going to be released in September. So yeah, I can't wait when I have like my hands on the physical copy. I ordered the Waterstones special edition, and I've seen how it looks, and it looks absolutely stunning. Then I have a children's book, and that's actually the second book in Memoire de la Forêt series by Michael Byrne-Arnault. These are French book series for children, and it is 4 book series, and each book features a season. I'm currently reading book 1, and that is set in summer, and this, as you can see from the cover, it already screams autumn. And something that I really enjoy about book 1 is the atmosphere. It's kind of, I like the way it describes the forest and everything. They're set in summer, and I can't wait to read the descriptions about the forest set in autumn. I'm really enjoying book 1, and I can't wait to read book 2. The series is about a fox who owns his own bookstore, and he helps out these forest animals by trying to sell their books. Like when they have written a book, he's trying to sell them, promote them, but he also tries to make sure everyone finds the right read for them. And yeah, it is very heartwarming. I really am enjoying the companionship, the friendship in this book, and the small town feeling, and the forest vibes are on point. Love it so much. Then we're going to continue with some romantasy books, because I'm also planning on reading The Shadow Bride. This is the sequel to the Scarlet Veil and the last book in the duology. And this is a companion book series from the Serpent and Dove book trilogy. And I love all of these books. Like, I really am enjoying Shelby Maurin's writing. Like, I really loved the Serpent and Dove trilogy. I loved Scarlet Veil, and I can't wait to read this one. I got this one when it came out, and I haven't read it since, simply because I felt that the Scarlet Veil had like the perfect autumnal vibes. So that was one of the reasons why I decided to postpone reading this one until autumn, simply because of the vibes from the other book. The way how the dark gothic vampire island is described, the misty atmosphere, the gloomy clouds, the weather, everything. To me it sounds like autumn, especially here in the Netherlands. We quite often have like a more of a gloomy autumn with a lot of rain, dark clouds and mist even. So that kind of like reminded me a little bit of our own autumn, and that's the reason why I decided to postpone this one. Book 1 is about a girl who accidentally comes on this vampire island, and she attracts the attention from the kind of, I think he's like the king of the vampires, or he rules the vampires, and she kind of like gets his attention. He tries to keep her safe from the other vampires, and there is a lot of things happening in this world and a lot of things happening in the story. But slowly some romance blossoms up, and I can't wait to see how that's going to develop in book 2. And yeah, I really enjoyed book 1 just so much that I can't wait to read the story further. So yeah, we'll see how that story is going to go. Then another romantasy book that I'm planning on reading and picking up is Made by Elie Hazelwood. I've really enjoyed most of the books Elie Hazelwood has written, and I think it was last year that Bride came out. And that was like this story about a vampire woman who has to marry a werewolf, and they need to marry to kind of like make a certain peace alliance between the two species, because otherwise they're going to war, and their marriage is kind of like this peace treatment to make sure they're not going to fight against each other again. And I enjoyed that book so much. I don't know a lot about Made at all, actually. Simply that, again, about werewolves. I'm not even sure that there are vampires included. I think it's kind of set in the same world that Elie Hazelwood created with Bride. So I'm just really curious. I really thought that Bride was so entertaining to read. I'm really hoping to have just a very good time reading this book, but this one is also on my TBR. And then kind of like to stay in a little bit of a romantasy vibe. The last one, I think, if that even includes that category, I think it might, is the Book of Life, the last book in the All Souls trilogy by Deborah Harkness. I actually really want to read book 1 again. I recently finished watching the TV series, and since then I've been kind of like craving the story again, and I really want to pick up book 1. But then I realized I had never read book 3. So I'm going to make myself read book 3 first before I'm even allowed to pick up book 1. It's about a girl who is this Oxford professor, and she does like certain research, and then she is researching something and she comes across this very ancient magical text, and that kind of sets off a lot of things. There's this vampire who finds out about this, and he tries to connect with her and tries to help make her give the text that she has found. And then all kinds of things happen. A lot of other creatures want this text as well. It is this very ancient magical text about creation of vampires, witches, demons and everything. And it is just, I love the ride. I love book 1 and book 2. I had a lot of fun watching the TV series, and I can't believe I have never read book 3 yet. I thought I did, but I don't think, I'm pretty sure I didn't. Especially when I looked into it, I was like, no, I haven't read this. So yeah, I'm going to continue reading this series. I love the romance in there so much. So yeah, I'm really excited for that one as well. And now we come to, I'm not entirely sure if they're like thriller, horror, creepy type of books. No idea. I think the first one actually is The Graveyard Shift by M.L. Rio. I've never read anything by this author, and I know it is supposed to be a little bit creepy. It is about someone who has dug up a grave, and other people are going to try and find out why and who has done it. And that's kind of like all I know, and sounds really intriguing. It is very, very short, as you can see. It is a novella, and I don't know, I just want to read more horror type of books. So if you have any recommendations for me, let me know in the comment section down below, because I am craving some horror books. So if you are like, hey, you enjoy these type of books, then you want to read more horror, you should read this. Let me know, please, because I am on the lookout for something else, and I kind of want to read something scary as well this month or this season, but I didn't really know what to read. I'm picking up this one because it's on my bookshelf, and yeah, I think it's a good read for around Halloween or something. Then another book that I'm going to pick up is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. And I have read a couple of book series by Leigh Bardugo before, and she obviously has written Six of Crows, and I thought it was about vampires, and that was one of the reasons why I decided to buy this one. However, since I have this on my shelf, I have read a couple of reviews about this book, and now I'm not so sure if I'm gonna like this one, because I don't think that vampires is like very prominent in this story. I think I read somewhere that's it's more of an historical story than that it's actually like a vampire story. To be quite fair, I really thought also because of the cover, and I thought I read somewhere that it was about vampires, but I am not entirely sure if I'm gonna like this one. However, I think that it might, at least the cover to me screams creepy and a little bit ominous, so I think that autumn is kind of like the perfect time to read it. I really hope I'm gonna enjoy this one. I actually have like the special edition. It was on sale when I bought this one. I really think that the book itself is very, very pretty, but I'm not entirely sure if the story is something for me. But we'll see, and we're going to find out. And then the last book that I'm planning on reading is actually a reread. I'm a teacher, and we are actually going to start on the 1st of September. And because of this, like normally we start in August, but this year we are actually starting on Monday, the 1st of September. And because of this, I was like, I need to read this book, because this book, they go to school as well on the 1st of September, and that's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Like, I need to read this when we go back to school on the 1st of September. I've never read the illustrated edition. I've read Harry Potter multiple times. Like, it's one of my all-time favorite book series, and this book I think is probably one of my all-time favorite books of all time I've ever read, simply because it is so nostalgic to me. I still remember the night that my mom was reading this book to me, and I've got quite a lot of different editions of the story, especially from book 1, but I've never read the illustrated one. And I think that this year I'm going to read the illustrated one. I'm not going to read any Dutch version or an English version, just the illustrated English one. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this with all these beautiful illustrations, all these beautiful drawings. Like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this when we are going back to school ourselves. So this is going to be read at the beginning of September. I'm very, very excited for it. It was not on my TBR because I actually had book 7 on my TBR for this year. But yeah, plans change and my mood change. So we're going to start over again, I suppose. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, these are all the books I'm planning on reading in autumn, and they're going to be read somewhere in September, October or November. I'm going to post short TBRs for each month. I'm not going to post like full videos for each month because I'm very a mood reader, and it works a lot better for me if I have like this TBR or a huge TBR for a certain couple of months, and I can pick out whatever I want to read whenever I feel like reading them. There are always a couple of books that at the beginning of the month I'm like, oh, I want to read these this month, and quite often I do, but I feel at least I've been disappointing you guys so much with monthly TBRs and then not sticking to them. Yeah, I think this kind of works best for me because in the end I'm still quite a mood reader. So I'm definitely going to read all of these, and probably because of my mood I'm probably going to add other books while the season progresses. So we'll see what I end up reading at the end of the season. Yeah, I'm really excited for all of these books, and let me know in the comment section what you plan to read in autumn. Are you just like me, and do you like save books for a certain season? Like, are there some autumnal books that you're like, you should read this as well, let me know in the comment section, because I'm always on the lookout for book recommendations. Last year I also did like a book recommendation for autumn, so I will link that one in the description box down below. There's another autumn book recommendation coming your way very soon. So I'll see you next week, and thank you so much for watching, because I really appreciate you guys. I don't know, I'm so happy that you even like my videos and that you enjoy watching it, and especially if you're still here by the end of the video. Thank you so much. Leave me a pumpkin emoji down below, because if you saw this whole video, then like if you do not know anything to say, then leave me a pumpkin emoji. And yeah, thank you again so much for watching, and if you want, then like this video and hit subscribe, and otherwise I'll see you guys next week again. Bye bye.